Okay, good morning, everyone. We're gonna start. Today's class is all about enhancing old photos. So maybe today you brought one that you could take a picture of, or after today, when I show you the steps, you can do it as well. And I'm just gonna take you through the process of some new applications that you can get on your smartphones to enhance those old photos. So let's begin. So, of course, with old photographs before, with the new technology that we could get on our smartphones, the traditional method of actually fixing old photographs were actually used by your hand, right? So you would have to physically manipulate the photographs using painting, retouching, and color matching. And this process was very, very slow because of the amount of corrections that need to be made by the specific picture, right? Because each picture um, needs to be manipulated in a certain amount. Also, it requires a lot of expensive materials, such as different types of paper, inks, and chemical solutions. So these types of for old photographs, the traditional method, they're not really by amateurs, more like specific artists. So even if you wanted to have your old photographs touched up and restored, you would also have to find a specific person that was made to do this. And once again, like I said, the process is very slow and also can be very challenging. So let's say once they do start retouching these photographs that you see here on the screen, once you do it, there is no turning back. There is no restarting the process of what you did once you make your mistake. So if they made a mistake, they messed up a part of the picture using these chemical solutions and inks, there really isn't a way to revert it. Whereas with the new method I'm going to show you today that you can get on your smartphones, you're always going to have the original, right? Because we're using digital tools with our smartphones. We're not physically manipulating the photograph. So that's the good thing about the new method that I'm going to show you shortly. So with the new method for restoring photographs, it's much faster. We have a control over what we want to do with the photograph, whether that is colorizing it. So if it's a black and white photo or it has a brown tone, we could change the colors with it. Maybe we want to enhance it to make it sharper. We can do that as well. Or maybe we just want to get rid of the scratches on our photographs. All of those things that we can do, and we can have control over what happens to the digitalized photo. Also, as well, it changes the ability to make non-destructive changes. So like I said, with these digital tools that I'm going to introduce shortly, once we tell the software, the tool that we use on our smartphone, that we wanted to colorize it or we wanted to get rid of the scratches, we're still always going to have the old photograph. So any changes that we make are not permanent. And it's also very accessible for both professionals and amateurs. So previously, the traditional method, you would have to hire someone that specifically is made to restore photos. Whereas here today, anyone like you and me can download these smartphone apps and use it. Does anybody have any questions so far? The copy of this recording will be posted on YouTube for the person that had a question. So before we actually get into the specific digital tools that are used to actually enhance these photographs like you hear on the screen, well, before that was even made, right? There was basic photo editing apps that you may have used before, actually heard of, right? Even now with our smartphones, if today we have an iPhone or even a Samsung Android, the regular camera app is now powerful enough to do simple photo editing, like adjusting the brightness, adjusting the contrast, making the photo a bit sharper if it's has a little dust to it, and even adding color. So our phones today can already do that, and that's usually what people do to edit their regular photos on a daily basis. However, the tools now are much more advanced. We would actually have to get a different separate app for what I'm going to show you later, which is actually getting rid of the scratches, actually changing a black and white photo into color. But today, without even having to download a separate app, we can all use our regular camera roll app to adjust the brightness, the sharpness, the contrast, and the color. And if you want more information about that, I have a video already on our RSS YouTube about how to do basic enhancements. But you could see here on the screen, just by adjusting a contrast on a photo, it makes it much more clearer and brings out the detail. And there's a bunch of apps that you could also get on your phone if you want basic enhancements like this as well. But with our iPhone and our Samsung Android, if we go to the gallery and we hit edit, they have these basic enhancements for us. And I will show you later today where the video is on YouTube on the RSS channel if you want to learn more about basic enhancements. Someone had a question that says, are recent Apple phones better than older ones at editing? So the recent Apple product phones, they are going to be better in taking photos. So if you have an iPhone 12, 13, or 14, they have a much more powerful camera to get in the details when you take a photograph. With editing, they are going to have similar tools like older phones. I don't know what exactly the phone you have, but if you have a iPhone 6 or iPhone 8, then yes, the newer phones are going to be better at editing photographs, to answer your question. Okay, so now that we are starting to understand different types of editing and basic enhancements, in order to actually start using these digital tools, you have to actually take a photo of that photograph that you want to enhance, right? That's the only way we can actually use these digital tools. So I'm going to give you some tips. So after the class today, when you want to practice using these digital tools, this is what you should do before, right? So everyone here today, you might have a photograph that's has some scratches, has some cracks in it. Maybe it's black and white, maybe it's brownish. So you do want to take a picture of it with your regular camera app, and you want to make sure that your camera flash is not turned on. Because when you turn on your camera flash, that's just going to ruin the photo because now the flash is covering the photograph. So later today, or if you want to do it now, when you take the picture of whatever you want to use to enhance, make sure you don't have the camera flash on. Just use regular natural daylight to take the picture. You also want to avoid any reflections. So if you have a plastic sleeve, so like if it's in an album, you want to take it out of the album and put it on a flat surface and take a picture of it that way. Because when you leave the plastic over it or any coverings, the digital tools and softwares are not going to be able to enhance it properly because it's going to see the plastic covering on it. Also, you do want to make sure that your photo is covering the whole screen in the camera, right? So when you take a picture of it, you don't want to see other objects in the screen. So if you see here at the bottom of the screen, the person was taking the photo way too far away. So if they try to enhance the photograph of this wedding photo on the screen, it wouldn't work because the camera's way too far away. You have to make sure the picture is very close to the camera, that it fills up the whole screen when you take the photo. If you're starting to get the album in the background, your desk in the background, the digital tool is not going to understand what it is trying to enhance because it's going to see all these different objects in the background. So just make sure you're holding your phone at least, a feet away, not too far, because it's not going to work. Does anybody have any questions? So yeah, so before we get into the digital tool, just make sure you have your photo taken already and it's in your camera roll. It's okay if you don't have it done right now, because after the presentation ends, you can take all the pictures you want. So it doesn't matter if you don't have it right now, but just in case it's not going to work when I show you these digital tools unless your photo's already taken in your camera roll. I just want to make sure everyone knows that. So if we see here on the screen, this is what I mean by digital tools, right? So basic enhancements just means making a photo brighter, just making a bit sharper, making the color a bit brighter. But these new digital tools are doing all of that in one, right? So if we see here on the screen a photo that had a brownish kind of tone in it, now they changed it to how it would have been if a regular digital camera today took the photo. A photo that was a bit blurry, that had scratches on it, those were both converted into a now a digitalized version where the scratches are now gone. And these digital tools are new. They're still getting better and better as the years go on. So when you try it today or tomorrow, whenever, they're not going to be 100% accurate. So let's say you have a black and white photo you want to use today, and we restore it to make it a colorized version. It's not going to be 100% colorized. You may see there's going to be some blotches of black and white. And why is that? Because the technology is still growing and because, well, we're using free versions of these tools, right? Of course, there are paid versions of these tools, but today I'm showing you the free version of that. But if you're really interested in this topic and you want to restore 20, 30, 40 photos, you can buy the paid version of these apps that I will show you today. So the first app that I'm going to show you is called Fix My Pics. Fix My Pics uses artificial intelligence to restore photographs. So they use an algorithm from all the tons of pictures that have been taken to try to reshape the photo of how it would have been taken by a digital camera. And this app, Fix My Pics, has three versions that you can do. The first thing is colorize, where if you have a black and white photo, a faded photo, or maybe you have a photo that has a brownish tone to it, with colorize, that tool, you can use the app to add colors to it to make it alive. If you don't want it to colorize it, maybe you have some scratches or maybe you want to enhance it a little bit, you can use restore. So restores for pictures that are a bit blurry and have a bit grain to it. So maybe it's not as sharp as you would want it to be. So maybe if you were looking at the photo, you can't really see their faces. It's a bit blurry. Maybe you can't really see the details in the background. So that's what restore would be used for, to kind of sharpen the photo and make the colors look more natural. And then the last tool they have is called de-scratch. And these scratch are for photographs that have a bunch of scratches and lines to it. With this tool, it's supposed to make the photo smoother. I'm going to show you the next app, and then I'm actually going to screen share my tablet and show you how it works. But this is just one app. It's called Fix My Pics. Both an iPhone and a person that has a Samsung Android can use it. This app is free, so what that means is that you have to watch advertisements because it is a free app. If you are someone that hates advertisements, the only way to get rid of advertisements is to pay for the actual application. And when I show you the app today, it will tell you how much it is to pay for the actual app to get rid of advertisements. But if you just want to try it out, yes, it is free to try out and you can use it all the time. You just have to watch an advertisement. So like a small 30-second, 15-second commercial. Once you watch that small advertisement, the digital tools will fix your photograph. The next app I will show you after that is called Pixel Up, and it's also an artificial photo enhancer app. So both of these apps today are using artificial intelligence to restore your photos. Whereas the old traditional method or basic enhancements, they do not use artificial intelligence. They just use the software built into our cameras. Artificial intelligence is much more complex. It's something that is still growing. The people are still working on. You may have heard it before in the news, but it's a much more complex digital tool that uses algorithms of hundreds and thousands of different things to try to find the solution. And so in here, because we're trying to enhance our photos, they use an algorithm of thousands of photos to get the correct version of your photo. So the tool, the algorithm looks at a bunch of photos of different colors to figure out what the skin tone would have been, what the background would have been, to make a river look blue, to make the sky look blue. They're looking at thousands of photos to find the correct thing. But with Pixel Up, they do have the same features that the other app does. The only other thing that they also have is animating photos, which is a bit creepy, but it is a good feature it has on there, I guess, that you can try out. Basically, it makes a photo move. So it looks like it could talk. It's weird. I'll show you it very soon, but that's like the additional feature it has. And once again, both an iPhone and a Samsung Android phone could use it. And how would you actually download these apps? You would have to go to the App Store for iPhones or the Google Play Store for Google, Android, Samsung phones. So if today you're using the Zoom app, where you downloaded the Zoom app was the App Store. You would have to go to that App Store to download these apps, Pixel Up and Fix My Pics. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, so
Yeah.
yes, Alicia?
Should we download both of them?
Yes, you could download both of them.
It won't take up too much space in the phone.
It won't only take up too much space on the phone if you're gonna be constantly using this for like hundreds of pictures. So just try it out for now and see if you like it or not.
Okay,
Are there
wonderful.
are there privacy issues with using either of these apps? Will they take your stuff and share it?
So if we look at both of these apps here, they will tell you what they're going to be sharing on the App Store and the Google Play Store. I could briefly show it to you right now. Hold on.
Do you think it's safe?
These are just two of artificial tools that I'll be using. There are a bunch of new apps that do this as well. Hold on, let me just go to the things I could show you what they share. So if you look here, this is the App Store on a computer. You can't get it on a computer, but I could still show it to you here. If we look on the screen here where it says app privacy, these are some of the things that they're saying that the data is not going to be collected by you. Purchases, identifiers, user content. User content are the photos that you are going to be entering into these AI models. And on the screen here, it says that the data may be collected, but is not linked to your identity. You would have to, go into depth of their privacy policy to see exactly what they're sharing, but I do know that these are AI tools that are now popular at the moment. This is just two of them. There are a bunch of apps that kind of do the same thing that I'm going to
Mhm.
show you today on the App Store. They have a bunch of these models. I don't think they're going to be, sharing your content online. But if when you do put these photos in the system, you are helping the AI algorithm to understand how to enhance more photos in the future. So they may be using it in a way to help the algorithm, but they're not going to be posting your photos online,
I
if that
worry about authenticity though,
right.
because that's an AI issue in general. But I
Right.
don't want any of my photos to be used for historical purposes if they were changed and made different, because then it's lying about, history.
Yeah, these apps in particular are not going to like post it anywhere. Um,
Okay.
but what I'm saying is they might be using it for helping the algorithm in the future
Yes.
through
Thank
your
you. Good
photos. Yes.
explanation. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I'm going to screen share my tablet so we can see how it looks like and how it works. You can use a practice photo if you don't want to put your regular information or photo in. So then you could see if it's worth trying. So I'm gonna stop screen sharing and share my tablet for the moment. I'm going to go to the apps. So I have two apps, Fix My Pics and Pixel Up. Then I have another app called Remini. That's another app that I didn't do a slide on, but it is another AI tool that is very good and it's probably one of the most popular ones. But Remini's not just for old photos, it's for any photo that you could put in the system. That's why I didn't really put a slide for it because the other two are mostly for old photographs, whereas Remini is for any picture. Like, for example, if you take a picture today and you just want to enhance it more, you can use that app. So we're gonna go to Fix My Pics. So you could see that when you enter in, it's going to ask you if you would like to have the pro version, which will remove advertisements, and you can submit a bunch of pictures without having to wait for advertisements. Sometimes with these apps, you only get to enhance a couple of pictures a day, and then you have to wait till tomorrow to keep enhancing your photos. So that's why I said there's paid versions for these apps. But we're not going to pay for anything right now, so I'm just going to hit the X button at the top of the screen. And now I'm here on the application, and it is very simple. You can see here, it's giving us different options of what we would like to do. If we would like to enhance it, would we like to colorize it, de-scratch it, or enlighten it to correctly lighten the photo. But let's say we just hit colorize, we just tap on it. It's going to open up to my camera roll where we get to choose what photo we want. And I just got this photo from the internet of Abraham Lincoln. And I'm just going to show you what happens of how they're able to colorize this photo of Abraham Lincoln. But like I've been saying previously, it does have advertisements. So you see here at the bottom, it says to process the photo, pro, no ads, but we would have to pay for that. And then on the top of it in red, it says free, I have to watch an ad. So anytime you put a photo of maybe your family or yourself that you want to enhance in the future, you do have to watch an advertisement. So right now, we're just gonna watch something quickly for the next 30 seconds, 15 seconds. This is the type of advertisements they'll show you. And you do have to watch it all through. We can't skip it. It won't let us enhance the photo. So once it's done, we're just gonna hit X and it should give us the new photo. Can you see my screen? Or is it black?
Black.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me just hold on. I think for privacy purposes, they don't show the photo, but let me just go back to see if it will show it. Okay, for privacy purposes, they darken the screen, but I saved the photo so we can see how it looks still. So this is the colorized version of what the digital tool did. And like I said earlier, because it is a tool that is still growing and still needs time to work on, right? We can see that there's some areas in the picture where it is still a bit black and white, kind of by his ear and maybe by his hands at the bottom. But it did try to colorize it as best as it can. And I had to save the photo. I couldn't show you the results on the app because for privacy purposes, it sees we're recording. And like, for example, if it was like a family photograph or something, it didn't want to put out that information on a recording. So I just saved it to my camera. But yes, this is actually what it, came out to. I'm not lying or anything. So this was the new photo and this was the old one. This is how it looked before. So you can see that it did try to colorize the photograph. And that was the result with that 15-second advertisement. So for example, if you wanted to do a bunch of photos, each photo is an advertisement, unfortunately, unless you paid for that subscription fee. If we just go back, once again, if I go back to fix my pics, and let's say we try to do the de-scratch, same thing. I'm gonna touch on where it says distract. It's going to tell me to choose a photo. So I'm going to choose the Abraham Lincoln photo. You can see here on the screen, we have some like black dots like around the frame. So I'm going to see if the tool can get rid of some of these black dots that are like on the top and on the side of the screen. So once again, I'm going to hit the word process photo for free. I have to watch the advertisement. The advertisement is going to play. It's either like something about a video game or about a clothing store. Those are the different advertisements that you're going to get. And we have to watch the full thing, unfortunately. And I'll say, yes, does someone have a question?
I was going to ask if you can do the spots and the colorizing at the same time instead of having to do a different function every time. They do it all at once.
So there's another app that I'm going to show you shortly that you could do both at the same time. Okay, so same thing happened for privacy purposes, is not showing it. So I'm going to go back to my camera roll to show you the picture of de-scratching the photo. So you could see here, yeah, some of the black dots did go away with the tool. So if we compare the two, this is the new one. But if we go back, this is the old one. And you can see if we look at the top of his head, all those black dots are now gone in the new photo. You can see that the background is much more clearer and enhanced. So that's really what digital tools do. And that's what this is called Fix My Pics. The only downside, of course, is the advertisements. But if you feel like in the future you may want to use this all the time, it's a $3.99 or $5.99 fee to get rid of the advertisements. So that's Fix My Pics. Does anybody have any questions on that one? Okay, so we're gonna go now to Pixel Up, which is the other app that I was talking about, which is another AI enhancer tool. So it's gonna do the same thing, but I'm just gonna show you what it looks like. And the same thing, right? You could see right here. This one is much more expensive than the other one because it has a bit of more tools. So this one, it is a monthly subscription. And yes, you could still use it for free. This is just for if you want to get rid of commercials. So what they're saying is you could pay $5 a week, cancel anytime, or $40 lifetime. So you pay that $140. I just feel like you would rather just use the other app. I don't think it would be worth it to pay $40.
Yeah.
So here we go. As you can see, they have more features. So at the bottom, we have colorize, which is once again black and white to color. The animate feature that I was talking about, which is a bit creepy, and I don't think you may want to do that with your photos, but why not? That's a new tool where, it'll give some expression to a photograph and make it appear alive. And then de-scratch and enhance at the top. They also have some other things like AI avatar, which is not really making your photos better, but you could put like things on it, like you see here in the picture, flowers on the head or like horns on the head. I don't know. I guess kids would use that more. It's not really for fixing your photographs, but those are other tools that you can use as well. I also want to show you one app before I go today, which is called Remni. And I've used this one in the past. And to me, Remni is one of the best apps out of all three of them because of the way it enhances the photo. And I'm going to show you today how much it sharpens the photo. So that Abraham Lincoln photo, if we look at it one more time, it's going to bring out the details so beautifully with this photograph that it is almost unbelievable. I didn't make a slide for it because it's not really for old photographs. It's a little bit more complex in the way the app is used. But this is one of the first apps that was an AI tool. So they have worked on their app much more than the other two. They've been in the game for longer. So that's why their photos are more enhanced. But yes, same thing. It's also, you have to pay a fee. If not, you have to watch an advertisement. And you can see here they have two versions. 1 week for free, then $3 a week. And then there's a pro version. If I swipe my finger, the pro version is what gets rid of the advertisements. You can even use this app on a computer if you paid the $10 a week fee. So if you're someone who also has a computer, this one in particular, this app, Remni, you could use it on a computer. The other two, no. The other two, you have to use it on a smartphone. So the reason why I'm showing you this one is because I believe this one is very nice for enhancing photographs much more than the other two. But this one is not just used for photographs. You can use this for any photograph, whether it's a brand new one. This is the advertisement that we're watching. Sorry about that, but this is what we have to do if it's free. Once it's gone, we can enhance the photograph. But for me in particular, Remni is one of the best. If it was cheaper, I would pay to use this AI tool than the other two. All right, so we finished. Okay, so I'm gonna keep on using the Abraham Lincoln photo, but if we look at the bottom, you don't have to do that. There's other features like the AI avatar that you saw in the other app, AI filters, but we're just gonna focus on enhancing it. I'm not going to touch any of those things at the bottom. Also, this also works with videos. So if you also have videos from like the early 2000s or 90s that you want to enhance as well, you could use this app, Remni. Okay, here we go. So this was the old photo, as you can see here, and moving with my finger. And if I just bring it all the way to the left, you can see how it has enhanced the photo. So once again, the old version and the new version. And you could zoom in and you could see how it tried to enhance it as well. And this is the free version of it. With the pro, if you pay for it, there are a bunch of other additional things that you can do. But like I said, this one wasn't made or built for old photographs, so they may not have those free features to get rid of the scratches like the other ones. This is mostly was just used as enhancing it to make it sharper than before. But I do believe that with the paid version of this app, you can get rid of the scratches and stuff, like the background with the black dots. But in my opinion, out of all three of the apps, this one is the best one in enhancing the picture, which is basically making it sharper to bring out the detail. So someone has a question, can you use this with pictures of old documents? So with Remni, you can try to use use it for old documents. Is the document like you want to see the wording, or is there scratches on it? What exactly? I think you're muted.
Like from the 1700s, 1800s, if you had a document that was in script, that the ink kind of bled, you can't exactly see the signature on it.
Mhm.
It would be so useful to be able to enhance those.
Right. I don't know in particular if they've created a tool to actually enhance the actual wording of the photographs, especially if it's in script. However, it could, take out the scratches and the blotches from those documents if they have any, like if it got stained or something like that. But I don't think with these tools right now, what it would do is just kind of make it a bit blurry, the words. It wouldn't really kind of actually bring out the word, because these tools are made to find the faces in the photographs and enhance them. They're not made to see a word and enhance it. But, give it 2 more years and there'll probably be a tool that has it specifically for that.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any other questions? It's just at the bottom, we do have additional features like colors. But as you can see right now, the options to bring the color from black and white to a colorized version are all by Pro, which means that I have to pay for it. So yes, these tools are very accessible for all of us, but unfortunately, we do have to pay for additional features. Why? Because, well, these tools are brand new. They're brand new to us. They're new inventions from right now, the past 2 years or so. It's becoming more and more popular. So they're not going to make a new tool that can do this that's just free now for everyone. You have to they have to make it a bit exclusive, I guess, for at the moment. So unfortunately, to get the photo exactly how you want it, you do have to pay an additional fee. But I think that, even just the free version and watching the commercial, they did a pretty good job in sharpening the photo. However, like, of course, it's not going to be perfect. And to make it a bit more perfect, yes, you have to pay the additional fees that these apps offer. Fremni, I do believe it's one of the best ones. However, they don't have specific things for the scratches and the blotches and the dark dots unless you paid for the fee, the pro fee, which is a weekly subscription. So I guess if you want to beat the system, have all your pictures ready in 1 week and then do it all in 1 week.
All right, so you pay for 1 week. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you have your 50 pictures ready and that 1 week, spend your time on the app and watch, and though, you get your digitalized versions in that week.
Will they
Okay.
do 3D? Do you think they're going to do 3D next? You put Abraham Lincoln in a 3D environment?
Do you mean like 4D maybe?
Yeah, like you're
Like you like
actually
a
with him.
hologram. Is that
Yes,
what you
yes,
mean? I mean, they have already been doing that with concerts with I forgot who it was. There
yes,
was an artist that passed away and they did a virtual kind of hologram concert. So yeah,
yes,
they probably would in the future. Maybe when you go to a museum, you'll see like Abraham Lincoln doing a speech.
yes. That'll
Um,
be another $10 a week.
yeah, exactly. Um, does anybody have any final questions on today's class about anything that
So
I
which one would you go for of the three for paying for a week?
Me in particular, I would use this app right here called Remni. And I know it's not specifically for old photographs, but with the pro version, if you see here, you get a bunch of things with the $10 a week. You get the colors, which is colorizing the photo. You get the enhancement, the face beautifier. This is what I mean by it's not specifically for old photographs. People also use AI tools to make their face more pretty, I guess. I don't know. That's the kind of the way to put it. Like you could use these AI tools to make believe that your nose is smaller, your lips are bigger. These are the tools that you can use it, or you may have heard of it before, but that's what they mean by face beautifier. That these tools, yes, they could be great for old photographs, but it's also used for current photos right now. People on Instagram or Facebook, they may manipulate their photographs of themselves, right, to beautify themselves. So that's what that means. You also get no advertisements, right? Unlimited saves. What does that mean? That you could save as many photographs as you want in that 1 week that you're paying the $10. Multiple results. So like let's say you feel like they can do a better job, you can tell the tool to do it over again to see if they make it better. You could use a computer if you don't feel comfortable doing it on the smartphone. And also you can use a video. You could input videos in this tool as well. So it also has a free week, right? So if you wanted to just do the trial, you could do that too, but just make sure you cancel it before your week is over. I don't want you to then start paying $10 a week with them forever. Is it saved on the cloud? Yeah, so once you save it automatically to your camera, yes, it will save to the cloud if your regular photos already saved to the cloud. If you don't want to save it to the cloud, you're just gonna have to delete it or send it to your friend and then delete it off your phone if you don't feel comfortable of it on the cloud.